Well, hello there, people of the internet, and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part 23 of My Doki Doki SNAFU. In the previous episode, I got some more interactions with the girls in the club. We did the one where we buttoned Sayori's blazer. We read some manga with Natsuki for the first time, and Natsuki immediately gave me a volume to bring back home to try and read. So, yeah, we're getting some interactions with the other girls. Of course, we're still on the Yuri route, but at least I'm clearing all that other stuff now, and I'm also finally increasing my sociability a little bit because of it. Alright, so... Oh, we can contact Kiba now too. Let's contact Monika first. My phone begins vibrating as I pass the kitchen table. New message, Monika. 15 minutes. Still unnecessarily vague, but I guess that means she's on her way. Which kind of sucks. What am I supposed to do for the next 15 minutes? Everything is already clean, and it wouldn't make sense to start doing anything else with only that much time to work with. Should I pace? What do you mean, should I pace? What does that even mean? What does that mean? Should I pace? Like pace around in a circle for 15 minutes? Well, what on earth does that mean? Whatever, maybe look at my phone? These are the untold struggles of being popular, it seems. I could make tea, but what if she wants coffee? Should I prepare some now, or wait to find out if she's even thirsty at all? Hosting people is kind of a pain in the ass. My minutes spent being completely unproductive are brought to an end by the sound of knocking. Hello, Mark. Sorry for the short notice again. You're fine. You gave me time to reflect on how fickle my attention span is. I'm happy to hear that. I close the door as she steps inside and slides off her shoes. Judging by the uniform, I'm guessing you're supposed to be somewhere else right now. Yep, though the circumstances are a bit different from last time. How so? I actually came here straight from the school. Seriously? Why were you there until almost 6 o'clock? There was a mandatory advisor meeting after the club ended, which lasted about 30 minutes. Then a girl from the volleyball team asked if I could help them prepare for an upcoming game. And I guess you didn't just say no? Wow, who knew I was talking to a psychic? Got any spoons you can bend? She seems sassier than usual, though I can't exactly blame her. The club ends at 4, meaning she had to stay at school for nearly 2 extra hours. I'd be pissed too. Yeah, you can go ahead and take a seat in the living room if you want. I'll go prepare us some tea. Thanks, Mark. Monika is staring blankly at her school bag with drowsy eyes as I step into the room. Feeling exhausted? She snaps back to life upon hearing my voice. Maybe a little. This much is nothing new though. There's a guest bedroom upstairs if you want to take a quick power nap. Inviting a girl to sleep in your house while you're alone together, huh? Sounds awfully suspicious. Don't get any wrong ideas, Monika. I already have a girlfriend. First off, the door has a lock. Secondly, how big of a pervert do you think I am exactly? Do you need to be reminded of the time you offered to loan me a pornographic magazine? When? When did I do that? No words. Yeah, I don't know when that happened, Monika. I guess I forgot that my character did that. Because I sure as hell don't remember clicking a choice responding to that. Except for Doki Doki Just Us, where in order to hack into the computer with Monika, I had to figure out that other guy or girl's pornographic preference or whatever. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I just realized that I hadn't reduced the audio of the game yet for the recording, so if I was difficult to understand, it should be okay now. But the offer is appreciated. There's really no need for you to be concerned. The level of tired barely even registers. She'd realize how unconvincing her words are if I had a mirror with me. Well, here's the tea. It's oolong, so the caffeine might give you a boost. Oolong? Isn't this Yuri's favorite blend? That's right. We got on the topic of tea one day and she insisted on trying this particular brand. I just happened to end up liking the flavor. Bonding over tea, huh? I'm glad to hear the two of you are making progress. Sharing your favorite genre of book and type of tea are about as much progress as anyone's gonna make with Yuri. Oh, well, you don't even know how far we've already gotten. Which isn't a bad thing by any means. She also has a surprising number of endearing points for someone who appears so stoic. You sound more like an older brother than a peer. It's kind of unsettling, honestly. You trying to pick a fight, punk? Not at all. Would have been much more concerned had you started drooling over how amazing you think she was. Does that version of me still exist in your mind? You can never be too sure about someone. Shrugging my shoulders, I had Monika her cup before taking a seat on the opposite couch. Also, it's pretty interesting how Monika asks a lot of questions about Yuri, because she also did that on the previous time she came over. And about Sayori a little bit, but like I guess Monika is feeling like Yuri is her competition or something. I mean, that's kind of true, because, you know, Monika doesn't even know she has lost the battle before it even started. We both spent some time sipping our beverages before continuing. You plan on changing out your uniform this time? Oh, asking for a show? A tantalizing idea, but not exactly what I was getting at. Such weak reactions. Unfortunately, the real answer would be no, seeing as how I came straight from school and don't normally keep a change of clothes in my bag. Unless, of course, you'd happen to have some women's clothing on hand that would fit me. Wouldn't it be strange if I did? Hey, I don't judge. You can dress up however you like. Why are you assuming I'm the one wearing them? They could be Yuri's that she left behind for the last time she came over because she's my girlfriend right now. I guess coming from her, coming from here from school is why she sent 15 minutes instead of the agree upon 20. Instead of, I guess, coming here from school, that from should just be gone. Not that it's a problem either way. If you came straight here, where do your parents think you are? Studying in the school library. Told them I'd likely be there until the sun went down. Doesn't the whole school close down at 5 though? Do they seriously not know the hours? Not quite. Her grin grows increasingly smug as she reaches into her bag. You see, the school only closes for those of you who don't have a key. A key? Hold on, you don't mean... Behold, the true meaning of the title Class Star. She holds up a key ring, bearing 3 keys of various sizes. The club room, the library, and the front gate. That's what each one goes to. Wait, aren't you supposed to return those once you're done using them? Commoners may have to, but us elites may play by a different set of rules. This woman. I don't know which is worse, fake peppy Monika or unbearably smug Monika. They also gave me a key to the supply shed, where all the sporting equipment is stored, but I returned it after quitting the volleyball team. That must have been heartbreaking, having to descend closer to us commoners. Well, elite status isn't all it's cracked up to be. These mainly serve as reminders of all the time I've spent running around lending a hand or kissing up to people. But who knows, getting to spend alone time with you may just make all my efforts worthwhile. Another cheeky grin. The sentiment is nice, but try not to get your hopes up. Disappointing people is one of my many hidden talents after all. Even though I say this jokingly, Monika's expression becomes much more stern. Why are you always trying to put yourself down? Huh? You were the same way after first joining the club too. Constantly talking about keeping expectations low and not being useful. Is there some terrible part of you me and the other girls just don't know about? You're a good student, you always try and think things through. You're willing to help people without wanting something in return. So why are you convinced that you're bound to disappoint someone? Given the pace of the conversation until now, Monika's sudden seriousness comes as a total surprise. Maybe this is her idea of the helping me aspect we mentioned in our agreement? Answer vaguely. Just like I did with Yuri. Based on how you make your parents sound, they're probably constantly comparing you to other people. Saying that you're better than them. Oh, She nods her head. Again, it's so annoying when they use the same 3 M's for different meanings. It's so stupid. For a long time, I was told the opposite. Told that no matter what I did or how hard I tried, I'd never be as good as a certain person. A person who could only be defined as being a prodigy. That said, I'm not angry or depressed about it, because they were right in the end. Even when going all out, I was still nothing more than inferior imitation, a shell who couldn't measure up. The reason I set expectations low is because I know there are people in this world who are capable of truly amazing things. Compared to them, I'm mediocre at best. Why bother pretending otherwise? My chest is gripped with tightness as she watches on. Sorry. Even though I'm not the one who offered to help, I'm not quite sure what to say. Oh, even though I'm the one who offered to help, I'm not quite sure what to say. Don't worry, I wasn't expecting any kind of uplifting response. Just figured I'd try being honest for once. You know, to keep things fresh and whatnot. My careless attitude does nothing to change her look of guilt. The girls in the curl up really do trust you, probably more than you can imagine. So don't say things like that in front of them, okay? They'd feel upset, whether it's showed or not. The closer I seemingly get with Monika, the more she starts sounding like Sayori. Maybe it's an intentional response, one intended to help preserve others. Right, I'll be more careful from now on. Her weak nod is followed by several minutes of awkward silence. In an attempt to divert her attention, Monika pulls a reference book out of her bag. Planning on using the time to study again? How diligent. Given how close we are to the entrance exams, I don't exactly have time to dawdle. You're positive you don't want to take a break first? People don't retain information as well when they're tired, right? Didn't I already tell you? Us elites play by different rules. That a fact? Didn't realize being elite was enough to transcend basic human physiology. I'm fine, really. The tea definitely helped. And shouldn't you be more worried about yourself? You're planning on going to college too, right? Assuming my ideal occupation of husband doesn't work out, yeah. No offense, but I think you'll have a lot more luck with books than women. Hey, that's only because you haven't been subjected to my charms. Oh? Yeah, Yuri has. That a fact? Obviously pleased with herself, Monika returns to her studies. Not wanting to be a disturbance, I pick up the novel I prepared beforehand and begin reading. 25 minutes pass before it dawns on me that the teacups were never returned to the kitchen. Hey Monika, do you want a refill? My words are ground to a halt as I see her slouched over with her eyes closed. Did she seriously fall asleep? I'm fine, my ass. Being stubborn was only gonna get you so far. Now what? Considering how exhausted she seemed, waking her up would kinda make me feel like an asshole. Should I grab a blanket maybe? That's how they handle situations like this in the movies. Or there's the main protagonist's solution of carry her to bed. Which would be easier said than done, given how the guest room is on the 2nd floor. Okay, I am gonna do that. Just because I didn't get to do it when they all came over for the cram session. Oh, this is a terrible idea. Isn't carrying a girl to bed super cliché, or even illegal under some contexts? How do I explain my reasoning when she inevitably wakes up the instant I try lifting her? Well, whatever. We'll leave that problem for near future mark. For now. The task becomes more daunting as the logistics of carrying her come to mind. How would this even work? Princess style would make her too wide to fit in the stairway, which means piggyback is my only real option. The only question is, how do I get her to lean on me? Or you do the what's it called? The fireman carry. You know, you put her on the you put the person on the back, like flat on their back, like straight as possible. Then you move their feet like as close to their butt as possible, so that the knees are like the knees are like this. Then you put your foot against their 2 feet, grab her arm, and then you lift her over, like you hoist her over your shoulder, and then you can carry her, or any person, of course, which is how firemen, I believe, take people out of burning buildings and stuff. You could do that. I mean, she slouched over on the couch, so it may be a bit difficult, but I'm pretty sure that should still work. Oh well, sitting here doing nothing is only gonna make me look creepier. After sliding away the textbooks, I crouch down and begin improvising myself into position. Also, I do like that, you know, like in order to impress Yuri, you need like to study to increase your intelligence, and in order to impress Monika, you do need your athleticism. Although I thought it was going to be more sports related, where you would go on jogs or whatever, and then you would run into Monika on occasion, and then like start to jog with her every Friday or something like that. And you need athleticism for that. So I was off, by the way, how athleticism was gonna be implemented to impress Monika, but in the end I was actually right that athleticism is needed for Monika. Although I'm pretty sure that doing the blanket would work too. After sliding away the textbook, I crouch down and begin improvising. I already read that. Luck appears to be on my side as I'm able, to shift the weight in her upper body towards my back, leading to a successful, if not awkward, and possibly criminal piggyback ride. My victory is short-lived, however, as an idea quickly makes my blood run cold. She fell asleep not long after drinking the tea I made, right? Wouldn't that be enough to build a pretty strong case against me? The temptation to immediately drop her onto the floor crosses my mind, but I end up deciding against it. Making my way into the hall, I'm soon faced with stairs bearing an ominous aura fitting for a final boss fight. Time to see if all those days spent jogging will finally pay off. I take the first step, then another, and then... Should I be concerned about how I'm currently being carried up a flight of stairs? Her drowsy voice is enough to make my already cold blood freeze solid. I'm guessing my level of finesse could use some improvement. Are you kidding? I woke up the second you touched my legs. Oh, well, no surprise there. But what's with the slow reaction? What's with the slow reaction time? You would have saved me a lot of trouble and heartache had you just stopped me back then. I was curious to see what you'd do. Of course. And you didn't disappoint. You let 5 people die. Then you let Dent take your place. Even to a guy like me, that's cold. What do you mean trouble? What do you mean trouble? Oh yeah. Trying to say I'm heavy? Lean would be a more fitting description. I'll kick you. Feel free. Just know you'll be going down with me. Feeling my legs growing sore, I decide standing still isn't helping anyone and continue ascending the stairs. I'm caught off guard as she suddenly wraps her arms around my neck. What's this? Deciding my intentions were pure after all? Just giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm calling the police immediately if we end up in your room. Glad to hear you're able to retain at least some common sense when exhausted. This level of fatigue doesn't even register, remember? And I still want that door locked when you leave. I guess all my scheming will be for nothing. Well, what do you mean I want that door locked when leave? That means I have to lock the door when I'm outside. Or do you want to lock the door while I'm inside? I don't think that's what you mean. So I have to lock the door from the inside so that you can open it whenever you want, because that's the point. But I will still be inside then. How the hell do you expect me to get out? Or do you want me to go outside and then lock the door, but then you're locked in there because you can't open it from your side? Or can the door be locked on both sides, and do I have to slide the key under the door? I guess that's what you mean. Because I was like, well, how would that even work? Either I stay inside and lock it from the inside, but then I'm locked in the room with Monika, or I walk outside and lock the door, but then Monika is trapped and can't leave when she wants to. So, you know, like, none of those work. Like, it only works if she locks the door on her own. But I guess I need to lock the door outside and then shove the key underneath. Not long after reaching the second floor, I settled Monika into the bedroom that previously belonged to my parents. As requested, even if jokingly, I also locked the door from the inside before... How do you lock the door from the inside and step out afterwards? How? I mean, I know technically MC is a 2D character, so technically you could slide underneath the door. But how does that work? How do you lock the door from the inside and then step out? In order to step out, you need to unlock it again. How does that work? How on earth... MC, teach me your ways. How on earth does that even work? I locked the door from the inside before stepping out. How did I do that? Did I jump through a window? What the fuck? How does that even happen? How does that work? That is impossible. If you lock the door from the inside, you're stuck inside until you unlock the door and then leave again. And if you lock the door from the outside, Monika is trapped within, unless you slide the key underneath the door. How the hell does that even work? That makes no sense. Oh, well, just like, look at that, I'm in my room. MC, that doesn't make any sense. What? You just defied the laws of physics there. Very casually, and I'm just supposed to buy that. That is ridiculous. That makes no... How on earth did how on earth did the author of this mod think that was gonna go? How on earth did they make that make sense in their head? That makes no sense at all. I looked at her from the inside and then stepped out of the room. Like, how did I do that? Did I leave through a window? Is there a second door that I didn't lock, which makes locking the door pointless? Did I clip through the wall? Am I 2D and did I slide underneath the door? How? Did I go through a window, jump outside and then walk back in? Or is there a window in the wall inside the house, which makes no sense? Which also makes locking the door pointless as well. That makes absolutely no sense there, but okay. I was already wondering how that was gonna go, and then literally like a few seconds later the game is like, yeah, hey, look at that, it works. Like, no, that doesn't work. So yeah, I'm Houdini apparently. Now I'm sat in my room, resting my legs. Yeah, I probably needed to bend my legs in an impossible position in order to leave the room with the door locked. Resting my legs and looking through homework I've been neglecting. She didn't insist on getting back to work while being carried, so maybe she realized how worn out she actually was. Her reaction was also totally different from what I had anticipated. She seemed pretty content with the whole ordeal. Yeah, well, to be honest, she really pushed me to carry Yuri and either Yuri or Natsuki back when we had the cram session. She's like, oh, how silly or whatever. Like, how disappointing you didn't choose to carry any one of them. But I didn't have athleticism back then. And even if I did, like, that would be so awkward. The one guy carrying, because of course I was gonna go for Yuri. The one guy carrying Yuri on his back, and of course with Sayori being there, Monika being teasing, and then that would not do a lot of good things for Sayori's health. Or Yuri's if she woke up. Or Natsuki's if she woke up. It would have been horrible for everyone involved, including me, because I'm subjected to it all. Though there's still the chance she'll give me an earful once she's well rested. 30 minutes pass before the remaining homework is finally finished. Now might be a good time to go check up on Sleeping Beauty. Assuming you're referring to me, I'm afraid that won't be necessary. She announces this from the doorway. Speak of the devil. Someone's looking better? Are you implying I look bad to begin with? Yep, sure am. Ugh. That little remark is gonna cost you a lot of points. Oh? Speaking of score, how many points did I get for carrying you upstairs? How many? You're lucky you didn't score a restraining order. I mean, fair. I just wanted to see what would happen now that I finally have athleticism to do something like that. Well, that's to be expected. Honestly, I know you're not socially adjusted, but who looks at a sleeping girl and thinks I'm going to carry her up a flight of stairs so she can lay in a bed? Wouldn't grabbing a blanket have been much easier? Or were you just desperate to have me on your back? Believe me, nobody's claiming my idea was a good one, but wasn't it the perfect opportunity to help achieve my dream of becoming a protagonist? Surely, there aren't any NPCs who can pull off a feat like that, right? I honestly can't tell if you're joking at this point or not, but wanting to be a main character doesn't qualify as a good excuse. You probably just wanted to enjoy my thighs, didn't you? Why them specifically? That's what I'm interested in. Why? Like, I was expecting her to say like, oh, you wanted to feel my breast against your back or something. But why your thighs specifically, Monika? I'm not sure if enjoy is the right word. But you can rest assured that these hands are never being washed again. You're impossible. Unimpressed by my antics, Monika strolls over and takes a seat on my bed. Your room is awfully clean for a high school guy. Isn't that a good thing? More like it's so clean it's boring. The closest thing you have to decoration is books. Not true. I've also got a class star with a serious case of bedhead, which surely must count for something. Huh? She quickly begins running her fingers through her hair. Don't worry about it too much. Having a few strands sticking out here and there isn't gonna take away from your looks. Geez, there you are again with the casual compliments. Are you sure you don't have more experience with women than you let on? I'm sure Sayori would be a lot less stressed if that were the case. At least you're aware of the problem. She kicks her legs back and forth while looking over my entertainment center. Did you come in here for a reason or were you just hoping to kill time? Oh, trying to kick me out already? Well, you made a big deal about calling the police if you ever entered my room, but when you enter on your own volition, it's fine. Or perhaps seeing me on your bed made you excited. Spot on. I can hardly hold myself back. Talking to you really makes me question my feminine charm. Are you sure you're into girls? I just said that I was. Even if it was a joke, I just said that I was. So what makes you doubt that, Monika? Wanna take a look at the magazines under the bed to make sure? The fact you can genuinely ask such a ridiculous question shows just how off you are. That a fact? Apparently exhausted by the conversation, Monika lies on the bed and begins staring at the ceiling. Does this mean you didn't come for anything after all? Not exactly. Focusing on my work would have been hard, knowing there was a possibility you were doing something immoral somewhere in the house. Which is why I came in here fully prepared to reprimand you. But seeing how you were doing homework, I guess I'll let you off the hook this time. How forgiving, though the idea of me being alone equals me being shameless is flawed to begin with. If anything, I act more like a deviant when around others. That's not something you should say to a girl who is in such a vulnerable position. Vulnerable, huh? Where I see things. You could TKO. What the hell does that mean? You could TKO me whenever you felt so inclined. Yeah, knockouts, but I don't know why there's a T. I don't understand what the T means. I mean, KO stands for knockout, because that's what this is implying, but I don't understand what the T means. Can't imagine someone like you never taking self-defense courses. Well, taking you down in a fight would probably be pretty easy. Is fear of retaliation what's keeping you from making a move? You're awfully hung up on the idea of me pursuing you. I'm just curious as to whether or not I'd be able to raise your flag. Wouldn't a scenario like that be super interesting? So what? You're trying to seduce me now? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm only interested in seeing your, what's the word? Your dare side. If that's true, you'd better off going after Natsuki. My character depth is much too shallow to house such a complicated trait. Perhaps, but we'll never know for sure until we try. You're strangely motivated for someone who couldn't even stay awake 45 minutes ago. What can I say? Being able to actually relax makes recharging the old batteries a lot easier. I'm glad to hear this place can at least pass us for a fueling station if nothing else. You mean fueling station and housing system for overly delinquent juniors? He stretches her arms far over her head before hopping off the bed. As fun as this has been, I really should be heading back soon. The sun's already gone down. Not having your sharp tongue around will surely leave me distraught, but I guess we don't have a choice. The two of us make a brief stop in the living room so she could gather her things before heading towards the door. Sorry for falling asleep, by the way. I know how much you were looking forward to our time together, so hopefully my carelessness didn't ruin your spirits too much. No worries. I'll cope with the disappointment somehow. How reassuring. As a heads up for next time, I'm thinking about doing things a little differently. Though nothing specific has been mapped out yet. Different, huh? You planning on being the one who watches me sleep or something? So you admit you were watching. What can I say? Your beauty was captivating. Much to my surprise, Monika's face becomes slightly flushed following this compliment. Given how poor your performance has been today, I suppose you can be allowed some points for that one. Lucky me. Well, just keep in mind how things may go a little differently next time, okay? You may even end up having to put some effort for once. Understood. I'll be sure to train my mind and body rigorously for the occasion. Guess expecting a serious response would be asking for too much, huh? Okay. I do actually wonder if there's going to be a, what's it called? A moment where, you know, Monika or anybody else really confesses and I have to turn them down and say, no, I'm actually already in love with Yuri. I haven't talked to Rika yet, but I'm keeping that off until much later. As has become commonplace at this point, my arrival in the club room garners little attention from the other members. Talk to Sayori. Yo, Sayori, wanna spend the meeting together? Yeah, that sounds fun. Alright everyone, gather round. Huh? Did something come up? We're not cancelling another meeting, are we? Don't worry, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. Oh? What's this good thing we're gathering round for? A team building and trust exercise. In the form of much needed spring cleaning. Ugh, cleaning? How wonderful. Yeah, Yuri loves that. I was just thinking the room could use a bit of tidying. I'm glad at least one person is excited by the idea. Can I get a pass since I'm always having to clean the home ec room? Come on now, Natsuki. Don't you wish to use this as an opportunity to grow closer to your fellow club members? Mind not glaring at me like that? Monika's right. Getting along with one another is an important aspect of any like-minded group. Calling us like-minded while he's in the room is practically an insult. What are you, my AA sponsor? Sponsor? Yeah, sponsor. He's joking, he's just joking. Please don't take him seriously. Did you really need to clarify that? When you're the one saying it, absolutely. Let's try not to get too sidetracked by Mark's substance abuse problem. Like Yuri said, the room has been looking a little dingy lately. So why not use the situation to work together for once? Promoting bonds is part of my job as president after all. Could have fooled me. She shoots a glare my way. Like for a brief second she's like super serious and then she's happy again. Aren't there normally students on duty who handle this sort of thing? Why do we have to do it? Well, not to belittle the ones placed in charge of such a responsibility. People slack off on cleaning duty like it's going out of style. So we're picking up after people like Mark? Talk about lame. Natsuki, it's fine. While the cleanliness of my house and work area are important to me, cleaning duty is little more than a standing vacation. Is that really something you should admit while in front of your club president? I'm only trying to maintain peace between the vice president and the short one. There's no need to thank me. This guy! Wow, he even made Monika look exhausted. Perhaps we should get back on topic. Thanks, Yuri. Long story short, we're cleaning the room because we need to, and because manual. That's an A, not an E. Manual labor will promote bonding. Manual? That's not how you write manual. And also, like, why with an I? Is it manual with a U? M-A-N-U-A-L. I'm sorry, but manual written like that is incredibly weird looking. I'm pretty sure that's not how you write it at all. And in order to prove my point, I'm going to look it up because I'm not too sure. Because I know manual with a U is like an instruction manual, but I do not know whether it also qualifies for manual labor. At the exact same time. I mean, it's very possible that you write the same words, write both words in the same way. Holy fuck, my phone. I really need a new phone. I need a new phone for a very long time. Yeah, manual labor. So, what the fuck? How on earth did you manage to screw up the word manual that hard? Menial labor. Unless menial labor actually is a word, but I'm pretty sure you mean manual labor. If you have any complaints, please direct them towards the Vice President. Why me? Why don't we just tell the teacher her students are slacking? Wouldn't that be a better solution in the long run? We were granted the right to use this room for club meetings, Natsuki. The least we can do is take care of it. Well said. Ugh. Grumble all you want after the fact. For now, Monika places various cleaning supplies onto the teacher's desk. I've also prepared these to make things easier. She holds up several stripes of paper, with each with a different word scribbled on the end. We're drawing lots now? Given how some among you are less enthusiastic about the group exercise than others, these were created to prevent any arguments from occurring. She stuffed them into her hand so that only the blank portions are visible. Alright then, who's first? We all stand around looking at our randomly assigned jobs after. It would have been cool if I could actually pick. And then depending on what you pick, you can clean together with a different person from the club. That would have been kind of fun. We all stand around looking at our randomly assigned jobs after everyone has drawn a strip. Now then, please read your task aloud following my lead. Boards, desks, floor, windows, miscellaneous? Aren't these all unnecessarily vague? Am I reading the kanji wrong? Nope. Miscellaneous was most certainly an option. Having been told the results, Monika begins rationing out cleaning supplies. Natsuki gets glass cleaner, Sayori gets polish, and Yuri gets the broom and dustpan. Everyone also gets a clean rag. Wait, why doesn't Mark get anything else? And what does miscellaneous even mean? Unlike you, who has a specific task, Mark is in charge of everything not covered by the slips of paper. So what? I'm supposed to scrub down the walls or something? Grease the door hinges maybe? Assuming you're actually capable of doing so, those would both be wonderful choices. Just go around helping where you can. And try not treating this as a standing vacation, would ya? Geez, he slacks off and still gets the easiest job? Must be from all the good deeds I do, because behind the scenes. Good deeds? Like what? Hey, don't just walk off! Let's all do our best. Everyone spends the next few minutes getting into their respective positions. Given the vague sentiments of my job, I mostly walk around wiping anything that looks wipeable. This goes on until... My eyes land on Natsuki, who is currently standing on her tiptoes trying to wipe the top of a window. Having trouble? Mark? She drops to being flat-footed immediately after noticing me. No? And can't you see I'm busy? Should you really bother lying? Someone was gonna notice eventually. Or were you hoping the smears on the top half would magically vanish? There's a stool in the closet I was gonna use. You go through all the effort of moving it over it. What? You go through all the effort of moving it over and over again? Got a problem with that? Hey Monika, you got another bottle of glass cleaner? Yep. There's an extra one set under the teacher's desk. Gotcha. Wait, where are you going? What do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? You hurt the press. I'm gonna grab that bottle. Why? I didn't ask for your... Not giving her a chance to voice any more objections, I walk towards the front of the room. She glares at me when I return. I'll start working on the top panes from the right. If you do the bottom once, coming from left, we can cross the middle. We can cross in the middle. Shouldn't take us long to finish. I'm perfectly capable of doing this by myself, you know. Neat. Not paying her words much mind, I spray the first piece of glass. Standing here looking angry isn't gonna make the windows any cleaner. I don't need you telling me that. Realizing her squabbling is useless, Natsuki begins begrudgingly wiping the glass. Years of experience cleaning an empty house lead me to finishing my half first. I'm done, but feel free to call me back over here if you find any problems with my work. As I begin walking away to perform miscellaneous, she mumbles something. I didn't need your help, but thanks. Hey, no problem. Yuri glances around. Looking for this? Ah, the dustpan. Where was it? Sat near the closet door. Figured it wasn't getting much done over there, so I picked it up. Thank you, Mark. I'd gotten so absorbed in sweeping that bringing it along slipped my mind. There's no need for thanks. Want me to hold it onto you? Want me to hold onto it for you? You do that for me? Of course, no point in you constantly going around to grab it. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll hold it steady on the floor. Right, in that case, she eyes her pile of dust and dirt that has accumulated at the end of her broom. We continue working together for a few minutes, with me crouching down whenever Yuri had another pile ready. This happens three times before. Want me to take over? Natsuki approaches while I'm leaning against the desk waiting. Done with the windows? Yeah. Just finished going over the parts that were still smeared. I see. Any complaints with my work? I wish. Even after looking super hard, I couldn't find anything to call you out on. Did you cheat somehow? Oh yeah, of course. I used the window cheat. Who knows? Though it's more likely the upper windows started out cleaner since they're further out of reach. Natsuki? Did you need something? She was offering to lend her services to our little broom brigade. Here you go, soldier, knock yourself out. She looks at me puzzled after being handed the dustpan. Given your proximity to the floor, I'd say this is much more efficient anyways. Hey! Thanks again, Mark. No problem. You two have fun. Having relieved myself of responsibility, I begin searching for other ways to stay occupied. Jeez, bet he was hoping someone would come over just so he could start slacking off. Walking aimlessly near the front of the classroom, my eyes land on the teacher's desk, which is now partially covered by a pile of papers. The name Monika is written neatly at the top of each one. Thought we came here to clean up, not make things messier. Huh? She turns away from the board. Oh, Mark! Excellent timing. That can't be good. Would you mind doing me a favor and ordering those by date? Why? These are your notes, right? Don't personal belongings fall outside the bounds of our group healing exercise or whatever you called it? Oh, was a rule like that established? Perhaps my memory's gone bad. Why'd you even bother taking them out in the first place? I only took out a single piece of paper. The rest are a result of the rings in my binder not closing properly. Oh, so even Wonder Kids can have bad luck. You plan on mocking me or actually being helpful? Porque... What the fuck? Porque no los dos or something Spanish. I guess it's Spanish, Portuguese, I don't know. The only hint is the upside down question mark at the start. Spoiling questions every time since 1865 or so, I don't know. With her having been properly exhausted, I begin shifting through the pile. There a reason you needed a piece of paper during our cleaning session? I was planning to leave the teacher a note detailing how we had tidied the room, hoping to score brownie points. Securing a more stable future for the club would be a more accurate description. Some people think doing things of this nature won't make a difference, but reputation means a lot of clubs as small as ours. Means a lot for clubs as small as ours. Little gestures can go a long way in determining whether we can stick around or not. Is the club at a risk of being dissolved? That's hard to say. You never know when a member is going to take a joke too far and end up being charged with sexual harassment after all. Good point. Natsuki's libido has been causing a lot of grief lately. Honestly, you really are something else. I sense the small talk continues as we each work on our own respective tasks. With the meeting about to end, we all begin to wind down. Great work, everyone! I'd like to thank you all personally for putting in so much effort. Even though we didn't have a choice. Shh. Oh, Yuri. Well, regardless of your dispositions, the club looks The club looks like a much nicer place now, my fucking god. That alone is worth my gratitude. After acknowledging our work, Monika sets us loose to use the remaining 10 minutes as we please. Window cleaner, dust collector, and paperboy. What the hell is paperboy? Remind me never to apply for a miscellaneous position again. Could have used desk polisher instead. I turned to see Sayori pouting near her seat. What's got you in a sour mood? I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, this beating around the bush routine never gets us anywhere. I'll be totally worthless unless you tell me what's going on. She stares at her desk for several seconds without a word. You asked to spend the club with me. Then you went and helped everyone else instead. Well, yeah, but your job was to wipe the tops of desks. Lending a hand for something so simple didn't seem necessary. It's not about what I was doing. I just wanted us to spend time together. Sayori's eyes drift lower as her cheeks slowly become flushed. So that's what it was. There's a brief moment of silence. Childhood friends sure can be complicated. Huh? I wrapped my arm around her shoulder before bringing our heads together. Wanna stop by somewhere on the way home? Huh? You're right that we didn't spend much time together today, but it's not like the club is the only place we can see each other. Assuming your parents don't need you for anything, I'd be glad to have the company. Her response comes in the form of an increasingly crimson face. Feeling embarrassed about something? Well, it's just asking me out after getting close like this. Did you start having lewd thoughts? Plan on dragging me into a love hotel, perhaps? Of course not! She pushes me away before covering her cheeks. You need to be more careful with how you word things, or else people will get the wrong idea. People? Just how many folks do you think I'm inviting out on a regular basis? Well, you're free to refuse if you believe your chastity's in danger. I'm not! You just caught me at a weird time. Yeah, so it's my fault after all. She begins to pout as I start ruffling her hair. Meanie. We end up stopping by a convenience store to buy snacks and hang out after leaving school. Though she may have acted reluctant, Sayori was clearly relieved by our little outing. Sociability increased by 5. There we go, finally getting sociability. Although it seems to only be with Sayori, interestingly enough. Oh, now it's lowered again. It was like 57 or something like that, and now it's down to 36. Alright, I'm almost max on sociability. Monika's still on 5. How the hell is that even possible? Oh, is it because I carried her instead of putting a blanket on her? maybe. Anyway, hope everyone's enjoyed it. I'll end it off here. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army. And I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valete.